everyone, we are from Group 5 Crystal of Mind and Spirit would like to present to you about our digital story on the novel entitled The Hunt of the Baskerville. The author in the story is Arthur Conan Doyle. The genre is mystery. The date of the first publication is 1901, Saleha the third, 1902, published by Niels, returning from the war in South Africa. Doyle wrote and published Hunt of the Baskervilles in England in 1901. Church News Limited is the publisher in this novel. The theme of the story, a good and evil, a nurtured true and fainted in Dartmoor, is the story of an attempted murder inspired by the legend of the Norhashim origin. This novel has 223 pages, $1,759.30, and ISBN is 97814071444054. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson is the protagonist and the most popular character on the story, while Stapleton is the antagonist. In this novel, Holmes also demonstrates an ability to match his contemplative, thoughtful nature with immediate action, willing to deserve or mislead others when necessary. Holmes is sociopath and impersonal, yet he has a charming and ultimately moral sense. The outcome of the story is Holmes shot the hound to the golden by Stapleton, who most likely ended up in swamp by the side on the road, unable to save himself and died.
The office and uncovering an 18th century manuscript, Mortimer tells the myth of the lascivious Hugo Baskerville. Hunts of the Baskervilles open with a little mystery when Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson overhear James Mortimer uncovering about the myth of the lascivious Hugo Baskerville that captured and imprisoned a young country girl on his Devon estate when chasing her late one night only to fall prey to hellhounds. Since then, Mortimer reports that the Baskerville land had been plagued by mysterious and supernatural black hounds. The recent death of Sir Charles Baskerville has rekindled suspicions and fear. Besides, they discovered that his next of kin, Sir Henry Baskerville, had arrived in London to take up his post as Baskerville Hall, but he had been intimidated by an anonymous warning letter and only his shoes stolen. Holmes and Watson, who agreed to take over the case, soon discovered that Sir Henry is also being followed in London by a mysterious brother stranger whom they speculate as friend or foe. In Devon, Watson learned that Sir Charles and a local woman named Laura Lyons met in secret on the night of his death when Billy, the Blatant, provided him a cryptic warning.
Reporters interviewed Laura Lyons to assess her involvement and discovered that the lone figure patrolling the wilderness was none other than Sherlock Holmes himself. This required Holmes to hide from the villain so as not to reveal his involvement to the villain to piece together the mystery. Laura Lyons was just a pawn in the game of Stapleton, a Baskerville beneficiary who Stapleton persuaded him to ask for and then miss a late-night date with Sir Charles. After luring Charles into the wilderness, Stapleton frees his ferocious pet dog, which terrifies the cautious nobleman and causes a heart attack. In the dramatic final scene, after dinner at the Stapletons, Sir Henry came home across the moor only to be blocked by the huge Stapleton pet. Despite the thick fog, Holmes and Watson separated the beast and Stapleton drowned in the wild swamp as he fled the scene in a panic. Burley Stapleton, who turned out to be Jack's wife, not his sister, was found tied up in his house, refusing to take part in his dastardly schemes. Back in London, Holmes tied up the loose ends, announced that the stolen shoes were being used to smell the Henry hound, and that cryptic letter of warning come from Burley Stapleton, whose rambunctious husband denied it. Their marriage to seduce and exploit Laura Lyons. Finally, Watson filed the case closed.
Sherlock Holmes is one of our favorite characters or heroes. He is the greatest detective we know because when someone talks, he listens to every detail. Some of the characters cannot be credible, and some can because not everyone has a good intention. Instead, there are masterminds in every murder that takes place in the story. The character that I like related to this story is Dr. Watson. He is a protective friend, just like me, which I will protect my friends or my loved ones. I have never done or felt something that related to Dr. Watson, except his characteristic, since it is more about criminal and mysterious story. We like this book because this novel was very important to the development of detective fiction, especially a popular subgenre in which a clever amateur private investigator or non-police officer provides invaluable help to the police in solving a case. Our favorite part in this book is the relationship between Watson and Holmes. We can learn from them because it is humorous and suspenseful, whereas it stated that Watson deduces that the mystery man must be of Spartan habits and cares little for the comfort of life. However, he is fooled because he later states that Holmes has a cat-like love of personal cleanliness.
In my opinion, the part I did not like about the story was when Sherlock Holmes' suspicions of Barrymore. They thought Barrymore was the one who stole Sir Henry from inside the car because the same nature and resemblance to the man suspected was the same as Barrymore. This is the information presented by Dr. Mortimer to Sherlock Holmes. Dr. Watson and Sir Henry set a trap by swinging a lantern and ambushing Barrymore. After hearing Barrymore's explanation, the lantern was used as a signal he was sending food to his wife.
First, yes, we will recommend this book to another person because it can be used as a solving problem in a daily life. Second, we think the person who would like this book is younger readers like 11 years old, those who would enjoy solving mysterious, enjoyable, and engaging series. Nowadays, mostly young kids would create something and they want to know further about it. The moral value from this story is, from this book, we have learned that an honest is the most important in a relationship. From the dialogue, moral values are presented honestly. Sherlock's direct moral value of honesty. In this scene, Sherlock is saying something bad to Mrs. Hudson. John then asks Sherlock to catch up to her and apologize to her. Here, Sherlock bluntly says he invited John's idea. Sherlock tells John that his mental state is very different from John's. From here, Sherlock is honest with himself and his ideas. Overall, honesty is the foundation of trust in a relationship, and trust is necessary for a relationship to function and thrive.